Future Arc, episode 11. We're almost there. So close to finishing this. You guys know what to do? I'm gonna start the episode in 3, 2, 1, play. Dun, dun.
Funimation.
I made a
Funny.
mistake. I'm not doing this again.
I hate Funimation.
The light.
Why do you hate Funimation? Because their web player doesn't work and stole my money.
Oh.
Ah, we get to actually see what they saw at the end of the game. Cool.
I wish we could actually see that at the end of the game.
I wish that there was a game.
I mean, Danganronpa 1, I'm sure they didn't know if they'd get a sequel, so leaving it ambiguous is just kind of a better ending.
True. Weren't you affected by her? Oh my god. She's playing a long con. How does nobody ever see these characters smile? It's like when Light Yagami turns around and is like, got him! No OP. All good things. Only good things happen.
What is that strawberry jelly on your face, Makoto? Wipe it off.
But it's tasty and good for the skin.
I don't think that's true.
It stains the skin. You don't know nothing about strawberry jelly.
I feel like the only reason you know is because you've tried this before.
What do you mean? I would never. In Minecraft. In Minecraft. In Minecraft.
I wonder if YouTube knows the Japanese word, if it can recognize that.
That would be interesting. I think not.
I mean, YouTube's programming is definitely English biased in that
Yeah.
regard. I don't know how much it actually does recognize that. I'm curious.
I can tell you for Thai, it does not recognize it. That's all manual review.
Mm-hmm.
Does it play whatever video that Junko made in order to make them do it?
Mm.
You should be dead, Makoto. You ran.
Technically, he speed walked.
No, he ran.
What defines a speed walk versus a slow run?
That's a good question. Because in the Olympics, that one year, some guy just ran during the speed walking competition and he won.
Speed walking is the funniest looking sport. Like
It's a
rubber
sport?
legs.
Yeah. Olympic sport.
What?
Yeah, Minikata. Looking at you.
No, why did you mention her? No!
I don't know why I expected the obnoxious sound from the beginning of V3 to play. Oh!
I swear to God, if Asahina dies, I'm quitting. It's a recorded video. Monaco. Oh my God. Not the Monokuma theaters! No!
The like fucked up version of the Monokuma theater music.
So this is what media is doing to our generation.
Yes, it's all because of the phones. Oh, he's seen planet Earth. He became an astronaut.
He discovered that Earth was flat.
Oh no.
Nothing in this image is flat.
That's why.
But Makoto.
It was all an illusion. Oh. Please don't tell me that you still believe that she was like nice to you and like just trying to save you. Oh God.
Nike is a little slow.
Oh.
Sakura, no!
Mondo! Brondo!
Why is Leon there? That's a great question. Why are we alive?
This is like the Neon Genesis Evangelion. Congratulations.
I think all of us know about it, but none of us have ever seen the show. No! No, turn to butter! No! Oh, man. Oh. It just drops down like that from the TV? That's a handy dandy TV.
Do they have more than one in there, or is a monitor only useful once?
I don't know. These are great questions.
How did he untie himself? What?
Don't worry about it.
I think it implied that he cut them on the rebar, but it didn't really show it.
I guess, yeah. Whose hand is that? The dude.
He is the best. Out of
Yeah.
all
He
the
is
new
the best.
characters, he's the
Yeah.
Like I said.
best.
How did you survive, though? Was it Munakata just think that you were dead? That's some commitment. It's the only way, man. Because he has nothing else to lose anymore at this point. Yeah, it makes sense.
Is it really that then if they're forced to do it? Is that not just murder with extra steps?
I mean, I would say the murderer is Monokuma, ultimately.
Yeah.
It's just conveniently stored there.
No.
He was too good.
She's just headbanging there for a second.
She was listening to Metallica. I understand. Yeah, we should probably stop doing that.
We should become friends.
Yes. Precisely.
Doesn't that actually also, like, describe war? Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's just propaganda. This is all just an allegory for war.
Mm,
Oh. It's a flimsy dagger.
No,
imagine
he's
trying
just
to
strong.
use that to stab yourself. It just break.
And then kiss.
That's a lot of monitors.
Couldn't you theoretically though just make a safe space? If you just
Yeah, just destroy
destroy
all the monitors in a
in the
particular
area?
room. Yeah. We couldn't tell. Oh, ever since then? Well, damn, dude, you didn't even know me. Something that you were unable to do. Yeah, this man has hit rock bottom.
I feel so sorry for him. Like, genuinely.
There have been some characters who've met a demise and I didn't feel anything about them. But for Sakakura, I do. Like, I really like this character.
Yeah, I think he's, out of everything introduced in Future Arc, the best character. He's the only one I actually have, like, any attachment to.
Yeah. Tengen? But ain't he dead now? Is this really the conclusion that we're gonna come to? Is there time? I mean, there is one more episode after this for one more twist. You believe that Junko was a good girl. The worst mistake ever. Where are you trying to go? Turn off all the power of the facility? Turn on the emergency lights. Okay. There's only one person. Imagine if somebody comes out of nowhere and attacks Sakakura. Yeah. Maybe that would have been a good idea.
And then kiss.
Sorry for stabbing you, bro. Dude, he's gonna bleed out if you're gonna doubt yourself right now.
Munakata's so far up his own self-pitying ass that he can't see anything.
I mean, he only has one eye, so it's understandable.
Would Munakata be the top or the bottom in the relationship?
I'd be the top. I don't think Sakakura could top Munakata.
Oh no, please.
I don't think he's gonna make it in time.
What makes you think that?
Oh yeah. Sometimes camera angles in anime can be weird. Oh.
I am genuinely tearing up. The only test they did well. No, you are stupid. I hate you so much.
He doesn't know what he has until it's gone. Hopefully he'll learn. But man, this lesson is painful.
Yeah.
Mitarai's character arc still needs to finish too. Except you.
Because I was like, I wasn't actually like suggesting it was you, but it feels very much
okay,
like it might have been you.
Yeah. It totally was you then. You have a message from Tengen, Nani? Isn't he dead?
It's an AI. It's an AI.
Oh my god. It's an AI deepfake of Tengen.
Beautiful.
I think this episode just proves to have a death means something. You have to have an investment of some sort in the character. Sakakura is kind of the only character that we've had any real development with, that we can have that sympathy, so that when he does die, there actually is that emotion behind it.
This was actually a great episode. And it just shows you what this anime could have been, but it wasn't for most of the time. It makes me happy to see that there is actually like thought and care put into it, but it also just makes me sad that it's not applied evenly.
I am very sad. I really liked Sakakura from the very beginning.
It's that kind of character where, for me, I wasn't really, into the guy because he was obviously extremely hostile towards our main cast and whatnot, but over the show, like, you're starting to sympathize with him and see where he's coming from, and then you learn that secret about him that he doesn't want anybody else to know. And then you're like, oh, I see. I understand why you did the things that you did now. And once you reach that understanding, then you lose that character. Yeah. Something that they didn't do for the other characters.
We have
because they didn't have time.
Development with Munakata, but it all comes too late, and you feel like he was so just stubborn and blind throughout the vast majority of the anime. And it just isn't the same. Whereas with Sakakura, I feel like it's been consistent growth and kind of like delving into his character from beginning to end. Which is why his whole arc here is the most impactful for the whole anime.
I felt like for Munakata, I kind of just gave up on him when he went all crazy. And he became super uninteresting.
He kind of snapped and you're like, okay, well, that's...
yeah, that's it for him. I guess we're just gonna take him down somehow, right? But...
Well, and I think the best parts of Munakata we get through Sakakura. If that makes sense.
That is unfortunate that it's not through himself, but it's through other people and how they think of him, even though he doesn't show that side of him to the audience at all. Sakakura never reached that point where we gave up on him. Like, we knew that he was doing things for a reason. We just didn't know until that reveal.
Well, even in the beginning when he was kind of just an asshole, you start quickly seeing that there's a little bit more reason behind just his attitude in general. It's not just asshole for asshole's sake, whereas Munakata came off as very angry for angry's sake and not listening to reason.
It made his character hard to empathize with, whereas for Sakakura, it was possible to see where he came from, and so, exactly. It resulted in this episode being great. It finally feels like Danganronpa.
Sad.
Yeah, it does. It finally feels like Danganronpa. Because I think that's kind of the strength of Danganronpa, like the games, is you have the deaths, which are kind of like shock value and kind of gratuitous, but the story behind like the build up to it, how it got there, there's always something impactful. Like when you think of like the character weaknesses that drive them to do it, or kind of what's driving them to need to get out, or, you know, all that kind of like character background that you develop as you're going through the investigation is what makes Danganronpa interesting.
I liked the twist that we got here, that there wasn't actually an attacker. That this also ties back into like the things that we're learning through Despair arc, and it makes sense why you had to jump back and forth to watch this so that we have the information to know. Yeah, it's the animation that causes people to... Yeah, well, I mean, we're not going to delve into the actual science behind that, but from the logic of the show, then it makes sense.
Okay, I'm sorry, but is Danganronpa the anime not driving you insane?
Are you saying that Mitarai animated this?
Yeah, we're turning into despair right now.
I know a lot of people really hated that whole like brainwashing aspect of the anime, which I'll agree, I'm not a huge fan of it, but I also, like, some people call it like a bit of an asshole for the anime. It is something that was seeded as far back as Danganronpa, I want to say 1, but I know for sure 2. So it's like, it's something that was definitely mentioned and brought up, but it definitely feels very much like the anime heavily leans on it, which I think makes parts of this reveal a little less impactful. Because the fact that you had, like, I forget the teacher's name all of a sudden, but the fact that she's been brainwashed, that all of, like, I'm forgetting everyone's names all of a sudden. This, the nurse girl. What on earth is her name? I know her name.
Mikan.
She's brainwashed and all this. Like, it kind of takes all the agency out of your characters. There's no motivation behind their actions. So when you have a twist like this, where it's like there was no killer, it was just the whole like brainwashing video, I feel like that becomes a little less impactful as it could have been if we had built up to it different. Because I think that is a fun twist that they could have had a good reveal. Like, I don't think this reveal is bad per se. I just feel like a lot of what Despair arc did also kind of softens it.
I see where you're coming from. I understand that, like when you introduce the brainwashing bit and then you remove the actual motivation behind any of the actions, it loses its impact no matter what you do. That's just like the device itself ends up contradicting the impact that they want to make.
Well, because at that point, your actions then are tied back to the person doing the brainwashing, which is Junko, right?
Yeah.
But we've had so much Junko building up to this, and Junko herself is kind of not present at all at Future Arc, and less of a character and more of like a force in Despair, if that makes sense. Because we don't get any kind of interaction or depth to her character other than just building the plot, I guess. Yeah, I think that's my qualms with it. It's less the motivation and future arc with this whole twist and more just kind of the plot device that it's become.
Good twist, but could have been much more impactful if done correctly.
I feel like it could have been a really strong twist, but we kind of just fell into it. I don't know.
I still think it's fine. Like, with the level of expectations that I had for the anime, this is okay. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think this episode is the best episode of Future Arc. If you just look at
I
it
would have to agree as well.
Like 100%. Probably the best episode of both of them. I think I just have more fun with Despair Arc, which is why it's the one I like more. Because building up to this Future Arc is such a drag.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure we could all agree that Despair Arc was just much more interesting to watch for the majority of the season. But I think this was the one where they delivered everything that they set up in both arcs.
It's got the best payoff, for sure.
Oh my goodness, I just noticed that last episode my favorite character died, and this episode my favorite character died. That's 2 deaths of my favorite characters in a row.
I guess that was something, we probably mentioned it during that discussion, but Chiaki we cared about from the games. Sakakura, they had to use the anime to build his character, so I give props to the anime for Sakakura. Whereas for Chiaki, it was the game that really did it for us.
I feel like what I give Despair credit for is it actually makes Izuru's character much more interesting. In the games, Izuru's kind of just this entity that we don't really have any actual introduction to or connection to. The only time you actually see him talking and interacting with anyone is in the flashback with Nagito. And everything that's built up around him is basically done by Junko, which is very biased and not true.
Yeah.
So seeing actually Izuru's development inside Despair, I very much enjoy. And obviously I'm biased because I love Izuru, but I wouldn't love him as much as I do without Despair Arc, I guess. That kind of gray morality is an interesting character trait. And the fact that throughout Danganronpa 2, Junko refers to him as ultimate despair. She blames him for the incident with the student council. But none of that's actually true. He is very much
pretty much just
the observer
gaslighting
to all of that. Yeah. And I think that plays really into Hajime's character also in the conclusion of Danganronpa 2. So I think there are good moments between both sides. It just is weighed down really heavily by all the bad moments.
Yeah. It's just unfortunate when you see something like that. That's why, if you were commenting, it feels sad in many different ways, but I'm also glad that at the very least there is something here.
That's right. It's still a conclusion. Whether it's a good conclusion is up to your personal interpretations and whatnot. But I'm always happy when a series gets a conclusion, because a lot of times things are just left to the
just
ether.
acts randomly. Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing for me with Zero Time Dilemma and the Zero Escape series.
Oh,
Is it a flawed game? Very much so.
No.
But I am happy it exists and that there is conclusion.
That's it for today's discussion. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Bye bye.